Welcome to Reiki Rising, a podcast dedicated to the transformative power of Reiki and the journey of spiritual awakening. I'm your host, Raven Waterblossom, your guide on this path to healing, self-discovery, and inner peace. Here, we explore the depths of energy healing, mindfulness practices, and how to align with the flow of life's natural rhythms. Whether you are a seasoned practitioner or just beginning your Reiki journey, this space is for you. Join me as we rise together, embracing the light within and around us. Let's begin our journey. Welcome back to Reiki Rising. I am your host, Raven, and I am so excited about this episode. I love working with new moon, full moon, moon phase energy, cyclical energy, and we also have this amazing eclipse season that can be a little tumultuous, but I fully believe that this eclipse season and every eclipse season is an opportunity for us to really transform things in our lives. So this particular episode is focused on the energy of tomorrow's new moon in Libra and the solar eclipse and where we are right now energetically and how this time can help us really transform some of our karmic relationships and really help us release some of that energy, release some of those ties, and move into our soul's purpose. So I do want to preface this with, I am not an astrologer. It's just something that I'm really passionate about and I love to learn from. I personally find a lot of insight and healing from it, and I'm always excited to share what I've learned with you. And today's episode, I'll be summarizing some information from a couple of astrologers that I follow closely, Rewilding with Sabrina Lynn and Astrology Dome. If you want more in-depth information than what I am providing today, if you want to learn more, these two people are amazing and they have tons of information and they are very, very knowledgeable. So I have followed them for a while now, and both have really provided incredible insights for navigating cosmic energies over the last couple of years that I've been following, and definitely during this cosmic time. So let's go ahead and jump in to the energy of the solar eclipse and the new moon in Libra. It's happening on October 2nd. And in this episode, I'll be sharing the astrological influences and how we can use these energies to release old relationship patterns and really heal through the practice of shadow work. In doing so, we'll be shifting our karma to dharma together. And we'll be able to reflect on how to bring balance into our lives and our relationships during this time. So go ahead and let's just take a deep breath and ground into this practice. Settle in, get comfy, grab your favorite hot drink maybe. It is a cozy time. Right now we are shifting here in the inland northwest into fall. Today is warm, but it's still kind of crisp outside. So I went over and grabbed myself a pumpkin chai, and let's just kind of settle into this space together and chat. So this solar eclipse in Libra is conjunct with Black Moon Lilith, Mercury, and the South Node, which brings our shadow to the forefront. Black Moon Lilith represents this part of ourselves that we often suppress. This can be our anger, maybe our desires, our rejection of societal norms. In this eclipse, we're really asked to confront the darkness within, particularly in the realm of relationships. So if we think about these parts of ourselves that we're suppressing in our relationships, and this could be a romantic relationship, it could be a parental, a friend, any type of relationship. So thinking about the things we are suppressing and how those things relate to our current relationships. Maybe there's something coming up for you right now, and this will kind of bring it to the forefront. So Mercury's involvement in this really urges us to communicate openly and reflect on the way we've been hiding or ignoring certain truths. So right now, if there is something in a relationship that you've kind of just been sweeping under the rug, that you've just been kind of putting aside, maybe you didn't feel ready to confront it, it's time right now to really stop sweeping things under the rug and allow the light of awareness to illuminate what needs to change. So really taking a look at this and exploring what it is that we're wanting to shift. What needs to change in this particular relationship? And maybe there's more than one. But what needs to change in this relationship for us to really honor ourselves and our truth? The eclipse offers a really unique opportunity with this new moon to realign with your soul's purpose. And if you are not familiar with this, our north and south node, our south node is connected to past karma. It reminds us of old patterns and cycles that we've carried through in this particular cycle, especially through our relationships. Are you a people pleaser? Do your connections reflect your true authentic self, or is there something you're hiding about yourself? This is time to deeply reflect on whether your relationships support your growth or hold you back. And really asking yourself, what is your soul calling you to do during this lifetime? Can you create a more aligned, authentic relationship that supports your journey? So I know a few people in my close circle who are going through some shifts right now. I personally have some as well, and this is the time. So our south node connected to our past karma, our north node connected to our soul's purpose. This is what we are working towards. We are moving towards our fullest potential of ourselves, our fullest truth of ourselves. And so this soul's purpose, think on a deeper level, not necessarily what your purpose is to provide in the world, but this is more of the lesson that you need to learn in your soul's journey to be at peace, to find ease, to honor yourself in this cycle of your soul. So asking really, how can I create a more aligned, authentic relationship with people that supports this journey? So for me personally, I'll just share a little bit. My north node is to care for myself in the way that I care for others. So giving myself the nurturance, the space, the compassion, the kindness that I do for other people. So that's something that I have to kind of keep in mind when I am interacting with people in relationships, and this could even be a work situation. In the past, giving so much of myself, but not caring for myself. So that's just one example. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with my career path as like my quote unquote purpose, but the path of the lesson to heal a karmic wound for myself in this incarnation. So take a look at your astrology in your chart. And if you aren't sure, Sabrina Lynn Rewilding, if you go to that website, I'll be linking that in the show notes. But she has a whole breakdown about finding your chart. You can run your chart for free, and you can look at these different aspects of your chart. And look at where your signs are in your south node and in your north node. And that'll kind of give you some idea of these patterns or cycles that we've carried through that we need to shift or change. And this, of course, it's not a one and done. It's over time. So we're constantly coming back to this North Node. How can I honor myself? For me personally, how can I honor myself in my relationships, and how am I interacting with people and building these relationships, and is it really supporting that journey of me being able to create space for myself to honor my needs in any given moment. So this is shadow work. This is a lot of shadow work. We have to really look at these relationships. How are we creating space for our soul's purpose, for our soul to shine? Shadow work is crucial during this eclipse. It's time to unveil the aspects of yourself that you've labeled unworthy or unlovable, especially in relationships. As you confront these hidden parts, you can begin to create space for your soul to expand. And this is going to be uncomfortable. But the more we face those darker parts, that shadow work, the more you make room for your true self to emerge. When I began a lot of my deep shadow work, I created another podcast, a sister podcast called the Dark Muse Podcast, where I shared a lot of these tender stories, these things that were coming up for me, especially in that first season. So if you feel like you're alone in some of these things that you're feeling, go back and listen to that podcast and know that we all have these things and you are not in this alone. We all have triggers. We all have things that are uncomfortable to face. But the more that we explore this and integrate, it's not necessarily to release, to let go of, to not think about it. We have to learn to integrate this. So like I mentioned with my North Node, integrating this is like really understanding the relationships in the past where I have had these codependency, where I've given so much of myself, or where I haven't cared for myself in relationships throughout my entire life, and really being mindful of that moving forward. Like, I needed to learn those lessons and I needed to go through those experiences to really understand how to do this in the future, how not to do that, how to build relationships that really nurture my growth, and in turn that I feel nurturing towards other people as well. It doesn't benefit anyone in a relationship if neither party is nurturing that relationship. It's a third entity. I did an episode in the Dark Muse podcast on this, the sacred relationship. And so it's, me and you, and then this third party that's also its own energy. So if we think of that third party, that energy between us, I have to be filling my cup to be able to nurture this. And that's my soul's purpose, is to make sure my cup is full and that I'm not fully just giving and emptying my cup into this third entity, this relationship and connection, this energy between the two of us, whoever you are. And you also have to be filling your cup. And sometimes we can't fill the cup of the third energy because we aren't nurturing ourselves, and sometimes one person is giving way more, and that seems to be a pattern. Maybe that's something that you look at during this eclipse. So what triggers have been showing up for you recently? How can you meet them with compassion and willingness to grow rather than avoid or deny that they are there? And this leads us to really stepping into our dharma. Once we're doing this shadow work in this eclipse, we're moving from our south node, from our karmic relationships, to our north node, embracing our true calling, our soul's purpose. And to move from karma to dharma, that's the path of living in alignment with your highest purpose. Karma is the cycles and patterns that keep us stuck, and dharma is about fully stepping into our truth. So reflecting here on how our relationships have helped or hindered your progress, and if there's anything that needs to be released so that you can move forward. This is the time during this cycle, right now, right here, to let go of any outdated ways of being and embrace relationships that support your growth. So asking yourself here, what are old relationship dynamics that you are ready to release? This eclipse is going to bring up triggers, especially around rejection, around fear of confrontation. Maybe there's a conversation you need to have that you've been waiting to have, and it's just you're afraid to have that conversation, either because you're not sure what it's going to look like or what's going to happen, or feelings of being misunderstood. But rather than seeing these challenges as setbacks during this opportunity right now, see them as maybe an opportunity for growth. When triggers arise in us, it's an opportunity for us to sit with it, and instead of reacting impulsively, ask yourself what that trigger is teaching you. How can you use it to heal and grow for yourself? Transforming your triggers to create space for a healthier, more conscious relationship with others and with yourself as well. That's part of this integration practice. This solar eclipse is marking a closing of the Libra-Aries eclipse cycle. It's bringing up old relationship patterns for resolution. If you've been noticing the same issues recurring in your relationships, whether it's around boundaries, equality, communication, this is your chance to break free from these cycles. Reflect for a moment on how far you've come. Give yourself credit. Like, you are here doing the work. Maybe the other person isn't. Maybe that's part of the problem. But reflect on how far you've come and what really needs to shift to create a more aligned, fulfilling connection, to create more of those connections. One of the key themes of this eclipse is addressing the things we've been avoiding. The energy of Libra pushes us towards harmony, and sometimes at the expense of honesty. So maybe there is something you are not being honest with yourself about, and just exploring that. What are you not being honest with yourself about? Because you're trying to keep the peace, because you're trying to maintain this peaceful space. So what difficult conversations maybe have you been avoiding? Where have you compromised your truth to keep the peace? Now is the time to bring up those unspoken issues into the light. This is a time to really honor that part of yourself and move into that space of dharma, and to move into more fulfilling relationships, more aligned relationships. Now is the time to bring those unspoken issues to light. Relationships are hard. They are some of our greatest karmic lessons. This eclipse is an opportunity to evolve that karma with our relationships to dharma within our connections. So instead of repeating these painful cycles in our relationships, we're really being asked to approach them from a place of awareness and conscious choice. Reflect on the lessons your relationships have brought you. An opportunity for integration. What lessons have these relationships brought you? How can you use these experiences to move forward, to build these purposeful connections? This is also about the relationship between the feminine and masculine and finding harmony. We are being asked to restore balance between the feminine and masculine energies within us and within our relationships. So thinking about, are you over giving or over receiving? Is there a lack of assertiveness or receptivity? This eclipse is about creating harmony between these polarities, allowing both the feminine and the masculine to express themselves fully and equally. The eclipse is a powerful opportunity for both the divine feminine and divine masculine liberation. With Kali and Lilith in the mix, it's calling for empowerment loudly. It's time to really liberate ourselves and break free from all of these limiting beliefs around gender roles, power dynamics, control. If it's in your inner world or in your relationships, allow both the masculine and feminine to rise to their fullest expression. I noticed this last couple of weeks, this sense of like my masculine being masculine energy, being a little overactive. I could feel, even just energetically, and this is where Reiki comes in, being able to look at these places in our body. Where are we feeling sensations? Where can we guide energy to balance and bring harmony? So with my masculine, I just felt the right side of my body. Everything kind of feels tense and tight. It's overworked. I'm doing too much right now, right? And I'm not finding that space for myself. And as soon as I acknowledged that, some things aligned with my schedule, with clients, and I am really grateful this week. I have some time to allow myself to sit with the energy of this eclipse and to rest a little more this week. So I have a couple of days where I can just really sit with this energetic alignment during this eclipse tomorrow and allow myself that space to care for myself. I'm doing so much. I'm pushing, going, and I'm not resting enough. So looking at that within your inner or outer world and really finding the balance between that feminine and that masculine, and also with your relationships. How much are you giving into your relationships with others? And are you giving yourself permission to receive in relationships? Maybe that is one of these aspects of your relationship that you need to look at right now. Are you doing things in your relationship that give you permission to receive? Just something to explore. One of the most amazing aspects of this eclipse is a chance to reclaim your worth. These patterns that we have inherited or absorbed from society cause us to reject certain parts of ourselves. So when we're asking ourselves, are we worthy of receiving? What is that answer? If you use the affirmation, I am worthy of receiving, I am worthy of balanced relationships, I am worthy of love, whatever it is for you, think about how that feels. What part of yourself are you still deeming unworthy? Now is the time to embrace those parts, to reclaim your wholeness and your authenticity. Is there some part of you that does not give yourself permission to receive in a relationship because you don't feel worthy? Oof. That's the shadow work, friends. Hard stuff. So, just sit with that for a minute. Another thing to think about here is communication. Mercury's involvement in this eclipse is supporting clear communication and insight. So take advantage of this. Have that conversation with yourself, have that conversation with others, And really take advantage of this energy by journaling, meditating, having those conversations. What insights are coming through for you, and how can you use these insights to make empowered decisions in your relationships and in your life's path? It is time, friends, to let go. To really let go of these old patterns, these patterns of care. There is a theme of nurturance here. Are you still giving too much? Are you sacrificing your own needs to care for others? It's time to let go of that sense of overgiving and self-sacrifice. Setting clear boundaries that honor your own energy and your well-being is so important here, and the new moon is really highlighting this theme of nurturance. We think of the new moon as this blank, empty space. It's really a fertile ground. It's a fertile ground. We're letting go of these outdated patterns. So think about planting seeds of healthy boundaries. How can you honor your own energy and well-being? What do these boundaries look like for you? This may be related to, it's likely related to inner child healing. And this eclipse is also an opportunity to address those wounds from parental figures, from mother and father wounds, masculine, feminine, childhood wounds. Thinking about how your early experiences shaped the way that you show up in relationships. How did those earliest experiences shape the way that you are currently showing up in relationships? Reflect on nurturing that you received or didn't receive, and how this influences your current patterns of care and of attachment. Coming back to boundaries and ending this cycle of overgiving. The Libra energy leads us to prioritize others' needs over our own. So during this time, ask yourself to create healthier, more balanced boundaries. End these cycles of overgiving, of self-sacrifice, and really ask yourself, where do you need to set stronger boundaries? That's a hard one. And this may just be planting the seed during this cycle. But the alignment of the cosmos right now, astrologically, is helping to support you in setting these boundaries in your relationships. So we're thinking about setting boundaries, about honoring ourselves, nurturance, these difficult conversations, things that we've been doing to peacekeep, sweeping things under the rug. So many ways to explore this energy. And as we move through this, it's really important to remember that this transformation requires a lot of courage. It requires honesty and a willingness to really face what's been hidden. This is a really powerful time for you to release old patterns, to heal wounds, and to create a more aligned and conscious relationship with yourself, with others, that honor your needs and growth. Thank you so much for being here, for joining me on this exploration. I really hope that these insights support you as you navigate the eclipse energies. Until next time, take care, stay aligned, and keep rising. Don't go anywhere just yet. Just a couple of reminders. I will be posting the links to Sabrina Lynn Rewilding and Astrology Dome. Both of these YouTube channels are going to be in the show notes. I will link Sabrina Lynn's website for downloading your chart, for taking a look at that, to help you look at your north and south nodes, where Libra is in your chart. All of that will be really beneficial. I am also going to be uploading a meditation to the Substack. If you have not followed the Substack, it's $5.55 a month. You get guided meditations. I upload a new one every week, sometimes more than once a week. So we're building this library of meditations, all different styles of guided meditation. There will be something for everyone, but this meditation is going to be focused on the energy of this new moon and solar eclipse. So definitely check that out. There are some free meditations on there as well. There's a yoga nidra, a Reiki meditation, a chakra balancing meditation. So there are free options to explore there. The last announcement that I have to make is that I will be posting in the Reiki Rising Patreon group. I'll be posting a new moon ritual. So if you are curious about how to create a ritual around this, check out the Reiki Rising Collective. You can join for free. There are paid membership options as well, but you can join for free and get access to the podcast, updates, posts, and little rituals, workshops, things like that. So definitely check that out, and I will see you all next week.